I'm going to run through 10 specific things the Bible says will happen that will signal the soon return of Jesus. Now, some of these are up to interpretive, hey, what eschatological position do you have, that kind of thing. These are just things I'm saying in general. Bible scholars for centuries have said, man, at least a good number of Bible scholars think these 10 things, okay? And dude, honestly, this is the stuff that made me go like, whoa, I really need to be thinking about this more, all right? So let me run through these real fast. Number one, by the way, the 10th one is the one that's going to blow your mind. I save the best for last.
That's great.
All right, number one, Daniel chapter 12. Daniel is an eschatological book talking about the end times, especially the back half of Daniel. And it says this, but you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book. In other words, what that means is the rest of this book is written in such a way that you won't be able to understand the fulfillment of these prophecies until they happen. That's what Bible scholars sometimes think that means. So shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. So now we're talking about the end, before the return of Christ. And it says two things. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. So two things you got. You have an increase in travel. Number one, I'll just point this out. For all of human history until about the 1960s, the farthest that somebody could travel in a day, at least before the invention of trains and automobiles, so actually before the 60s, so before the 1900s, was about 20, 30 miles in a day.
Wow.
Obviously, you have railroads change that, automobiles change that. What really changed in the 1960s, commercial airlines. This is the first time in human history, literally, if I wanted to, during this podcast, I could get on my phone, I could book a flight to Australia, I could roll over there to DFW, and I could be on literally the other side of the world within 24 hours. Mm-hmm. First time in human history.
Yeah, and Elon wants to take us to Mars.
Elon,
he literally wants
you got enough money, man.
Reusable rockets.
That's right. So number one, increase in travel. Number two, it says, and knowledge shall increase. I hit this real quick in the sermon, so I won't do this. But obviously, with the rise of artificial intelligence, the amount of knowledge available to humans is now, it is estimated, is doubling every 14 to 20 days.
It's crazy.
So increase in knowledge. We have a tsunami of knowledge. Number three, this one's going to do this one. So this is Revelation 13, 16 through 17. Also, it causes all, both great and small, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead. And I'm going to talk about the 666 thing here in a second. So that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark, that is the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now, I'm going to talk about like what that actually might mean here in a second. But dude, I'm just going to point this out, man. What that's saying is there's going to be a one world. It appears. Some Bible scholars, a lot of Bible scholars would say, it appears like there's going to be a one world economic system, and the economic system will be constructed in such a way so that without some kind of mark or identifying, this is a really important word, identifying feature, you won't be able to engage in commerce in that economy, all right? And you see stuff like that with organizations like WHO, World Health Organization, WEF, World Economic Forum, and that's why we've talked about this before on the pod, so I won't go in this. God does nationalism, Satan does globalism in the Bible. Because, we were talking about Babel. because humankind has a sin nature, we're rebellious by nature, and God knew that if mankind ever unified, we would unify in rebellion against him. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Wow. So there you go. One world economic system and a mark there.
Wow.
Were you going to say something? You
want
me to keep going?
You got it.
All right, now, let me tag on to this. This is something I learned this week. So Revelation 13:8, this is right after this, and it talks about like this, like a mark or whatever that is. So it says this calls for wisdom. Listen really close to how this is the 666 verse. This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. That language is really interesting. For it is the number of a man. And then it says that number is 666. Now, number four, the rebirth of the nation of Israel. Again, this is one that a lot of people, obviously depending on your eschatological position, but there are multiple reasons to think this is a thing. So this is Isaiah 66, 7 through 9. It says, before she goes into labor, she gives birth. Interesting, when Jesus talks about his return, he uses birth language. Romans chapter 8 talks about how creation groans with eager expectation, and it talks about labor pains. So the closer we get to the return of Christ, all this stuff that the Bible's prophesying, just like contractions, get closer and closer and closer. And then it's like, bro, it's about time.
Yeah. Wow.
So it says, before she goes into labor, she gives birth. Before the pains come upon her, she delivers a son. Who has ever heard of such a thing? Who has ever seen such things? Now listen. Can a country be born in a day, or a nation be brought forth in a moment?
Wow.
Yet no sooner is Zion in labor than she gives birth to her children. I will not leave you childless, says the Lord. I will bring it to birth. Now, it asks the question, seemingly talking about the end, return of Christ, can a nation be born in a day? That is exactly what happened to the modern nation state of Israel on May 14th, 1948. The British mandate, there was a British mandate over Palestine, ended on that day, May 14th, 1948. On that day, I can't remember the dude's name, Israel declared its independence as a nation. By the way, Israel is the only nation state that has ever been reconstituted twice in history. That the nation was dissolved and then it was reconstituted. It's the only nation in world history that's happened twice. Okay, so they declared their independence. Then United States President Harry Truman recognized Israel as a nation on that same day. A bunch of other nations, remember this is right in the wake of the finalization of World War II, a bunch of other nations follow the United States leadership, and immediately in one day,
Yeah.
Israel became a nation again.
Wow.
All right, 1948. Let me do another one. Number 5, the rise of false Christs and false prophets. This is Matthew 24. Jesus answered, watch out that nobody deceives you. For many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah. I will deceive many, and many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. We'll just point out, we talked about Islam significantly last week. There are a lot of world religions rising right now that are full of stories, myths, legends, demonically empowered things that essentially there are false Christs and false prophets. Number 6, let's keep going. We talked about this last week. Revelation 20 verse 4 is talking about the end of time, and it talks about the souls of the beheaded. Again, we mentioned last week, Islam throughout history has historically practiced beheading as one of the ways that it, metes out persecution upon what they call infidels. So that could be a fulfillment there. Number 7, John 16:2. Jesus says, indeed, the hour is coming when whoever kills you will think he is offering service to God. Again, we talked about this last week. That is a potentially referencing, religious persecution, which is massively on the rise. Number 8, this is really interesting. The whole earth needs to be able to see the same thing at the same time. Now, this is really interesting. Just track with me. So Revelation 11, again, we're broadening out to multiple eschatological positions, so just go with me if you're a theology nerd here. Revelation 11 talks about 2 witnesses, okay, that will come. Now, we don't know the identity of the 2 witnesses. Some people think it's Moses and Elijah, the law and the prophets. Some people think, do you know who? Some people think it's Enoch and Elijah.
Oh, yeah.
Because those are the 2 people
Taken up.
in the Bible that never experienced death. And obviously, the book of Hebrews says it is appointed unto man once to die. So a lot of people think the 2 witnesses, like God was like, I'm going to take you, I'm going to take you. You don't experience death yet because your day's coming. You're going to be the 2 witnesses at the end. You'll experience death then. Now, but listen, so these 2 witnesses come, and it's like they got a sword coming out of their mouth. The entire world's listening to them and hating the truth that they're speaking. Listen really close to what Revelation 11 says. Now, when they have finished their testimony, the beast that comes up from the abyss will attack them and overpower them and kill them. Again, it's appointed once to die. Verse 8, their bodies will lie in the public square of the city, which is figuratively called Sodom and Egypt, where also their Lord was crucified. Almost certainly Jerusalem or outside of Jerusalem. Listen, for 3.5 days, some from every people, tribe, language, and nation will gaze on their bodies and refuse them burial. Now, for centuries, Bible scholars have been like, well, how can everybody from the whole world gaze on their bodies? Until the invention of international broadcasting in the mid-1900s. And I will also point this out, and now every person on earth is holding one of these in their hands, and with the click of a button, somebody can go on IG Live or whatever it is and be broadcasting real time from any location in the world, and you can be watching a live stream of anything, anywhere in the world. It's the first time in human history that Revelation 11 is even technologically possible to happen.
Wild.
Okay?
That's wild.
It's going to get wilder. I got 2 more. All right, number 9. This one has not been fulfilled yet, but could be very soon. The gospel has to be preached to the whole earth. Matthew 24:14, and this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations. It says, and then the end will come. I'm not going to give anything away. We are actively right now working on a way for Lake Point to be part of the solution of that specific verse.
Wow.
Verse 10, or number 10, there has to be a mass apostasy. 2 Thessalonians says the day, talking about the return of Christ, will not come unless it says the falling away happens first. Dude, I will just point this out, and I wish I had a graph. I should have found it. Particularly in the West, if you look at where Christendom historically has been for the last 1,000 years, we are in the middle of the largest mass apostasy in church history. More people have at one time said, I'm on Team Jesus, and now they've walked away and said, I'm not on Team Jesus in the last generation than maybe ever before in human history. That's like a bunch of my friends from high school. And it specifically says, there's going to be a mass falling away right before the return of Christ.